spooky friends. Welcome to Paranormal. And it seems our last podcast type deal with me and my husband went pretty good. So we're going to try it again. And I want to welcome all our new friends and let them know what Omenet stands for.
Yeah, so Amunet stands for America Nederland because I'm Dutch and my
I'm
wife,
American.
she's very American. So
So what are we talking about tonight, dear? The show is yours.
yeah, okay, so I think if you haven't watched our video about the spirit box that we did, you better have a look now because it's the funniest thing ever. But on the other hand, we shot some footage out on the back deck too.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk about that because there's several things going on. Okay. So if you want to just watch this with me, okay?
Okay. Afraid of. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Come on. It's okay. Come on, come forward. None of the things I have will hurt you. They'll make it easier for you to talk to me. I understand you perfectly. But this stuff is not going to hurt you. It's just going to make it easier for you to communicate. You're not allowed to touch anybody. You're not allowed to scratch anybody. You're not allowed to hurt anybody. Come on. Who's going to be the brave soul? Come on. I feel y'all down there. Come on. Come right next to me. Come on. Come on, I can feel you. I can hear you. Come on. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. We're just gonna have a little chat. Come on. Only one of y'all? No, they're supposed to be brave soldiers. Come on. I'm getting... What's wrong with her hair?
there you go.
Okay.
Right. So let's start with the beginning, okay?
Okay.
So you have to entice the spirits to come to you.
I wouldn't say entice, but you call out and not lure, but ask them to come forward.
Right. But so you noticed that there were a few spirits downstairs in our yard.
Yes.
And you noticed one that came up.
Yes.
Right, and stood next to you.
Yeah. Stood behind me, not really next to me, but behind me.
Well, you see them or you feel them?
Both. But in this circumstances, I felt them. So I can feel each individual one.
Right.
And then the one coming up was a little bit more stronger than the ones that were in the garden. And it came up behind me because that's a defense mechanism.
Right. So
because they don't trust me yet. They don't understand why I'm calling out to them to come and talk. They don't understand because keep in mind, our area is saturated with the big battle happened at the mountain, but this whole area that we're in was also littered with wars and skirmishes and whatever you want to call it. I don't know, don't care. But nobody's reached out to them. Nobody's felt them. Nobody understood them. Nothing like that.
Right.
So they were a bit confused.
Now, these spirits here, they also mistrusted the spirit box.
They didn't understand it.
Right, which basically I said before, you cannot pull somebody out of the 18th century and show a spirit box to him.
Right, but when they start, and I didn't do a good job explaining how they can use this. I just said, come talk through this.
Right.
I didn't explain really, if you come up and use your words and hear in the white static, everybody can hear you more clearly.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, it's kind of like they didn't have their antenna out, so they couldn't broadcast.
Well, first and foremost, you got to keep in mind they were very mistrusting.
Right.
You have this
but on the
woman with a weird haircut calling out to them. They come and they're like, "What the heck is going on?"
That's another thing that you already got the message that they found your hair strange, right?
Yeah.
Which basically that is basically mentally talking to you.
Yes.
Right.
Because I can talk to them through my mind's eye, and they can do the same. So I can have a conversation with them without even uttering a word.
Right. And then we know they're there, right?
Right.
We know they're there. So let's go follow this.
Okay.
This through. Right?
Okay. My hair's strange. They find it strange. No, you cannot touch. Okay, I'm going to make some noise here, but it's going to make you easy to talk.
Power on.
Come forward, tell me your name. Didn't understand you. You gotta try harder than that. Come tell me your name. Okay. It's not gonna hurt you. I know this seems very weird. Come tell me your name. I feel you right behind me. I do. I feel you. Talk to me. Tell me your name. You can do it. How old are you? It's okay. It's not going to hurt you. Trust me. You can sense me like I can sense you. Come. Tell me your name. Doesn't take that much energy. Come on. I'm not going to hurt you. Are you a Confederate or are you a Union? Tell me which side you fought for. Are you a Yankee? Come on. Are you a Yankee? Come on. Come right up next against me. Use my energy if you need to. Come on. Come. Are you a Yankee? Come on. Don't be shy. Come on. Tell me. What is your name? What is your name? Come on. Say your name. No, you don't have to put flashes. Talk to me. Use this and talk to me.
Of course, we're waiting all the time. We're getting a lot of, no, not a lot, but just a little bit of radio interference in it.
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I don't think we got any answer on that.
I don't know. I've never really went back
Box.
through it and listened with headphones.
No, but
Because that does make a big difference.
It does, but still. Let me. So at the end here, you're
Right.
talking about flashes,
Yes.
right? So what was going on?
One particular spirit that was the one behind me. I guess he just felt the best way to communicate because they were quite frightened with the noise. The noise took them back. And like I said, you saw, I didn't explain to them what's going to happen and how to help them, right? So, as I'm standing there, I'm getting flashes of war scene. Just pictures.
Mhm.
And like I had said, sometimes they can talk to you. Sometimes they'll just put pictures and it won't necessarily be in order. So you kind of have to figure out how the pictures go. So I stopped it immediately. I think I got 3 flashes and that's when I was like, no, try and talk to me.
Do you think that if you would have mentally talked to them, you think you would have gotten your answers?
Okay. Yes, I would have. If I sat down and there was quiet and I was able to, talk to them because one, they were shocked that they were pulled to me. 2, they were all carrying on about my hairstyle. And then when I cut the device on, they were like, and I could feel them backing up, like trying to pull away. It's kind of like going and seeing a crash site, and you want to drive as slow as possible to see everything that's going on. That's what they were, it was like a crash scene, and they're like, I don't want to be involved in it, but I want to drive really slow and rubberneck.
Or do you think that they just thought they heard a steam train coming, like?
That's mean. That's mean.
That's not mean. These people live in a certain period.
Yes, I understand. But during this period too, they were blowing up several different locations in our area. There was 3 or 4 locations where they blew up the train tracks. Because remember, they stole an engine.
Yeah.
The Union.
Yeah.
It was a Union spy. He stole an engine and took off with it back up north.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want that train coming back loaded with more soldiers, weapons, whatever. They don't want. So they're trying to stop the supply lines because.
Now,
I have to be careful what I say because then it gives away where we live.
I know, but still. Basically, what I wanted to know is, do these spirits live in a certain time, or do they modernize like I mean,
Well, okay.
If they see you, do they see me?
Yes.
Do they see the cars coming by?
Yes.
Do they understand that those
Yes,
are cars?
they are intelligent spirits. If they can communicate with you, that is an intelligent spirit.
Right.
And intelligent spirits do see things. They're stuck in their time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they do see the changes that happen. So, yeah. Do they come and sit in your living room and watch TV? No.
No, they don't.
No. I mean, maybe somebody that's passed away in modern times where TV has been introduced, maybe, yeah, you would get that residual energy or intelligent spirit doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually people have TV time where they want to see certain programs, and it's a habit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you pass away and you're still here, well, they do what routine does, what they've always done.
Mm-hmm.
If that's sitting down and watching TV, they'll plop down on their couch and watch TV.
Okay. Well, let's go a little bit further on this.
Okay. Come on. I can feel you down there. And only one of you is behind me. Come on. Give me your age. How old are you? How old are you? Come on. Don't be shy. I know it's scary. Come talk to me. Give me your name, give me your age. Come on. Talk to me. Come on. I'm gonna try something else.
Okay. So what are we doing here?
Here I decided to switch from FM to AM just to
Right.
see what we get AM.
Right. And to make everybody understand that we had the antenna totally in, right? Because we don't want
Radio interference.
right. We want the static. We don't want the radio interference. And the AM antenna is inside the machine,
Right.
which will always catch
Right.
anything.
But you have to be close to an AM tower.
No, you don't. AM are very long.
It's very long, but the interference that we got on the AM really surprised me because usually you get more chatter on FM than AM.
Mm-hmm.
But I had more chatter on AM than FM,
Right.
which you'll see.
Yeah.
That's AM. See how much? It's too much radio interference.
Radio chatter. Radio chatter.
We must be close to an AM tower. Hang on. See, it's making that sound. Come talk to me. It's open, it's safe. Nobody's gonna hurt you. You definitely can't be scared of the kid over there. You're much bigger than he is. Come on. How old are you? Come tell me how old. I know you're trying. I hear it. I'm concentrating on putting a beam of light out. Kind of a nice warm light to let them know it's safe and it's okay. I felt them quite close, and when I turned this on, it kind of frightened them a little bit because nobody's tried to communicate with them ever. It's safe. You know it's safe. I've talked to all of y'all before. Remember the night my dogs were barking at you? And I told you, nope, you're not welcome in the house. Come to me now. Talk to me. You gotta tell me your name. You gotta give me your age. Come on. They asked, why in God's name did I cut my hair like this?
Okay, so now I wonder about something, okay?
Okay.
Because if I was a spirit, right, and I can communicate normally with you, right? Mentally, I can communicate with you.
Right.
I can say my full sentences. I can tell you anything. I can let you feel my presence, whatever, right? And you're trying to get me to talk through this spirit box,
Yes.
which would be like you know, somebody on the phone, and you say like, well, can you please scream? Put the phone down and scream, please. Maybe I can hear you.
Okay. Well, first you gotta understand something, right? They're intelligent spirits because I can hear them, right?
Yes.
I've heard them make,
Yes.
I've heard them making comments to me and making comments with each other. Now, the thing is, with an intelligent spirit, right? It's like you or I meeting somebody completely new and then suddenly forming this bond. Anything takes time, correct?
Yes.
Right. They don't know me. I've only reached out to a few of them. That one night,
Yeah.
our dog was going crazy. My husband was working late night shift from home, and both dogs went berserk. Now, our big dog, he doesn't carry on like that unless like somebody knocks on the door. There was nobody walking, there's nobody outside, and I was like, okay, this just isn't normal. We hadn't been here very long either. And immediately, boom, I could sense, and I knew they were Civil War because, you know, their clothes were in tatters. I mean, you can tell by looking at a picture and going, okay, you know, this is in this era. And that's what I saw. My main concern immediately was, no, you're not welcome in the house at all. I'm not going to have you scare my child, because I think at the time the kid was 3 and was already complaining of seeing things. So the last thing I need is men and young men, you know, spirits all over my house when my kid's already terrified and saying he's seeing things. So I have not communicated with them, and I have not reached out to them for 10 years, give or take.
Okay.
I'll say 8 years.
Okay.
So you have to kind of, you know, get used to each other, get to know each other.
Yes.
Unless you have one that loves to talk and chatter and don't know when to shut up, like me. So, and you're dealing with men, and men aren't going to be quite, you know, forward and open.
So that brings me to a point,
Okay.
right? Because paranormal investigators, right,
Right.
go to a certain location,
Right.
with their spirit box,
Right.
or stay at home with their spirit box. I don't know what. Some stay at home.
Yes, some stay at home, some take it out.
Okay, so you're the first one where I hear that you tell these spirits not to be afraid of the sound that comes out of the
Out of the box, yeah.
box. Yes? Okay. And secondly, have you ever seen anybody on a spirit box get several sentences out of it?
Several sentences, no. And you won't.
So basically the communication via a spirit box is very troubling.
It's not troubling because you can get direct contact to an. So if you ask it a question, it can give you a direct answer to that question,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it's
you
not gonna say
you can say my name, right?
right.
And let's just say somebody has a very unusual name,
Yes.
and that comes through.
Right.
That's
But-
direct
but
communication.
It doesn't go like, oh, what is happening with your hair?
No.
Right?
No, and it
that's,
does-
that's what I mean.
Yes.
It's like the communication, right? It's kind of like a communication that is way too much garbled to basically be a communication.
Now, I understand what you're saying. I do, because there's a lot of paranormal teams out there that do not believe in any of the equipment. None. They believe that the cameras now have such good enough microphones that the microphone should be able to pick up EVPs
Right.
on their own. You don't need a digital recorder or any of this garbage.
Right.
So a lot of them don't use any equipment except their camera and their voices
Right.
calling out.
Right.
There are others that like to use the technology. And that's why I say that's the wonderful world of paranormal. Because you never know until you test something out, right?
Right.
So there's a channel I follow. Sorry. Ugh. Okay, there's a channel I follow, and all he does is ITC. Spirit boxes.
Yes.
He has all kinds of spirit boxes. Well, he got a new spirit box. There's no radio in it.
Okay.
None.
Right.
All it does is make pure white noise.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And the responses he got were crystal clear.
In the sense of sentence or in the sense of word? Because there is a
Well, not word, but words. So he goes to a particular cemetery. Now, I know I say, who wants to hang around their dead body, right? But if your grave over periods, I keep hitting the microphone, over a period of time, right? A grave is constantly being disturbed, and people are doing rituals on it, right?
That's got spooky. Is that normal here in America?
Yes, it is.
People doing rituals on the
Yes.
Okay.
So he's using the box that has no radio whatsoever but pure white noise, and he was getting now he could pick two different. I'm not good at the technical terms when it comes to ITC, and there's one person I want to interview so badly because he knows so much about ITC. And but there's a switch he can choose, and it changes kind of the tone of the what comes through the voice. It said the name that was on the grave.
Right.
It was a child's grave that was being rituals were. It had been the tombstone had been destroyed. I think the child was 3 to 7 years old when he died. people were doing rituals on there. And when people are coming in and doing these kinds of things, it brings certain things that you don't want. And the mother is also buried in the cemetery, not next to her son, but is buried in the cemetery. And I've heard the mother's voice and her name. Now, this particular gentleman who owns the channel, who does all the ITC stuff, he has one particular spirit, no matter where he goes, that will say his name through the spirit box. He's like, it doesn't matter what location, whether I'm in state, out of state, few states over. This, I remember it's Dixon. Dixon is the last name. I can't remember the first name.
Okay.
He came through. He was told to get out. He was told people do rituals here. He was told there's evil here. Now, the evil part, could it be? Could it not be? Depending on what ritual was being done and what was being called and why it was being called.
Right. But what I basically would love to see is basically a temperature drop and spikes
Yes.
next to you. Because if you tell me that something is behind you, I would love to shine something on there that could at least see a temperature change. Because you don't get shapes, do you?
Yes.
You can?
Yes.
So if we can get shapes, that would be at least
Yes.
something.
Because like Patrick from Haunted Side, he has the temperature gauge and it's got the camera on it. You insert the SD card so you can record and you can take pictures with it, and you could actually see the head, the shoulders. Sometimes it's a blob, right? But sometimes you can actually see the form. You know, are you going to see details? No.
How great would it be if we shone that right into my yard where several of them were gathered?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Right?
But I have other places that would be interesting to take a device like that.
Of course.
There's the witch's grave.
But we're gonna keep trying on this in the spirit
Yes.
box and see.
Yes,
what we-
because the one thing that I try and make him understand, this was one time. This is the first time I've touched a spirit box because there's been no reason to get a spirit box. And I was like, well, you know what? It wouldn't hurt and it would be nice if we got responses. But the problem, I think the next time we do it, I'm going to call my spirit guides in and try and do it that way so they're not quite so
Right.
frightened.
But for right now, I am like still not convinced because I cannot see, and especially with your experience with spirits, I cannot see them just shouting out one thing. Like,
no, you can get. I have heard like a sentence, you know, you're not welcome here, get out. That's a sentence.
Yeah, that is a sentence.
And so you're lucky to get that. You know, a lot of times it's them trying to scare you out of places. Sometimes it's places, you know, that, you know, say you go to an old asylum where people were mistreated. you know, work camps for people that were poverty ridden. That's a whole new level of something, because people have been abused. There's been pain, mistrust, abuse, horrible things. People are dying slowly because a lot of these places turned into TB, clinics, and they didn't even know how to treat them. So how do you think those people died? It's quite horrific. Hacking up blood. You're hacking literally the inside of your lungs out. So that kind of negativity, and doctors doing experiments they're not supposed to do, but they did anyways, and patients being abused by other patients, that kind of negativity draws in more negativity. And so then you turn on a spirit box and they're going to use it to try and scare you. Does it mean they're evil and they're mean? No. They just don't want you there. Plain and simple. So they're going to scare you. They're going to manipulate you.
Okay.
There's been, people have done investigations because everything is so negative. Okay, for example, our house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a new one for you.
Yes.
Our house, when it was built, a family moved in, husband and wife and children. And the wife wanted a divorce. Husband moves out. They get divorced. She refuses to sell the house. The husband's at his wit's end. There's just constant fighting and bickering and nastiness, and it just, permeated the house. Then an out-of-state buyer bought the house, and not far from us is a university, so they rented out to kids. Well, we're outside with our neighbor talking, and he's like, I said, yeah. He's like, did you hear about the neighborhood? And I said, yeah, I heard the neighborhood went down, and then it's made a drastic incline. And he says, yeah. And I said, yeah, I heard about the house, and, GBI and FBI and ATF, and what other abbreviations am I missing?
I don't know. There's about 25 or so.
And what it was they were drug dealers, and he goes, you do know that the FBI, ATF, GBI, and local police literally banged down your door because a girl was renting a room here and yanked her out because she was dealing pretty heavy in drugs. And I was like, oh, now I get it. Because there was so much turbulation, there wasn't much positiveness in the house. It left a negative energy in the house. And me and my husband, we're not much, I wouldn't say we fight. We have disagreements, but I wouldn't say we have nasty fights.
No, I don't even know how to start one. So.
But when the negativity got bad, right?
Yeah.
What was happening?
Oh, yeah.
We were fighting like cats and dogs.
Well, yeah. But yeah, we were agitated.
And
Is agitated a better word? I think. So smudge it again.
It just so happened the person that was taking care of our dog while we moved was a Native American. And he told me, he goes, The best thing to do, he says, don't forget to smudge the outside of your home. If you have a fireplace, stick that nice little bundle of sage and cedar and all that other good stuff. He says after you've saged your home, then put it and sit it in your fireplace and let it just waft up. He says walk around your property. And I never thought about that. And this was the second time we smudged the house. I think we smudged a total of 3 times. Each time we smudged, things got calmer and calmer and calmer. And, you know.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So you have the negative energy that was attracted to what was going on in the house. Well, the same goes for hospitals and asylums and care homes and where horrible abuse happened.
Okay.
But you never show fear to a spirit. If you back away from a spirit, he knows he's won.
Yeah.
And he'll keep on. You don't push it. You don't agitate it, but you don't back down from it. That's the one thing I've always learned. When dealing with spirits, no, you're not allowed to touch me. No, you're not. And you have to say it in a very firm tone. And I've only been touched twice. An unwelcome touch. I mean, first touch was something grabbed my wrist. We were checking out a place that we thought it was an old church, and across the street was a cemetery. And 2 guys robbed a grocery store and brought the clerk and the store manager to the cemetery to try and beat the combination out of them. Finally, the manager's like, I'll give you the combination. They went back to the store. They got in, but they didn't keep to their word, and they took him back to the cemetery, and him and the clerk were murdered. And there was something nasty about that place. Very nasty. And something decided to come up and grab my wrist.
Yeah.
This is before spirit boxes.
Right.
This is way before spirit
my question
boxes.
still is if spirit boxes. I know everybody wants to believe in them, and everybody wants to hear things out of them, but
You do have to be careful, because if you got a lot of radio interference, then it's basically pareidolia. You're reading the radio. You're picking, like so many people say. You've got people that do spirit box sessions that are chasing clout, and they do it on dead celebrities. So the celebrity dies, and either that night or the next day, they're on that spirit box trying to chat away. That's the worst time to do it, because of course, what is going to be on the radio for the next week or two?
right.
That dead celebrity's name. So you can't do that. And if you have a lot of radio, that's why, like when I switched to AM and got all that, I mean, FM was quiet compared to AM. I couldn't do anything with the AM band because there was too much, and then it would have been radio pareidolia and
See, because I'm still waiting for something to pull me into the TV when it gives me static.
he better be careful. He better be careful. I told him he's going to be like Heather O'Rourke. He's going to be pulled in that TV, and I ain't going in to get him. I ain't doing that. I don't do that kind of thing. No.
Okay. So, well, thank you for tonight.
Thank you for tonight.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
What? Do we still
There
have
was
something?
something. Oh, my
There's
goodness.
something gnawing at me. It's a dog.
What the heck was I going? Oh. Should I bring up what we've been discussing and see what everybody has to say in the comments?
No.
He's no fun. I have to deal with this. Oh, come on.
No. We'll keep it as a surprise, and I don't want to say anything. But I wonder why nobody have asked yet about the cemetery thing that we did, and that hasn't, we haven't like given that out yet. So
To me, that's the only way I can back this up with the cemetery thing and my 2 times great grandfather. As it stands, it's not really paranormal. It's more of a crime story, a true crime story.
but we are a very flexible channel.
Well, true, but what I'd like to do, because when we went to go look for the old homestead, it was springtime and we couldn't really see much.
It was very overgrown.
Yeah, it was quite overgrown. And here fall is fixing to be upon us, and I want to go back up. The one thing y'all didn't catch, would you like to tell them what I was telling you on the way back to our car?
Yeah, we were walking back, basically the path back to our car, and which basically goes along that path is there because there were homesteads there. And at a certain moment you just shouted out like, "Oh my God, he's beating his children severely. He's beating them."
Well, they would have been his half siblings.
Yeah. But it just doesn't.
Well, he was beating her, and the kids was trying to protect their mother and went off on them. And what did I show you? The hairs were sticking up on both my arms. I had the cold chill. I mean, it was the most awful sounds. I mean, when I get these things, I can hear. And it was just god awful. This was after his dad died, so it was his stepmom that he was beating, and then she had 2 kids with his father, and when they jumped in to try and help their mother.
So are we gonna make it a Christmas special?
No, we'll make it a fall special, because
Fall special. Okay.
I'd like to go back up there where I can do a little bit more research, because I think we were close to their homestead for me to pick up that. I didn't pick it up going deeper. People think it's a logging road, but it's not. It's a road for, there was several homesteads going down this road. So it's an old wagon road. And it is just really hard because it turns and you're like, where'd it go? And you had to find it. And there's another road that goes up, which I want to check that one out too. But you have to cross how many creeks?
Well, the same creek, but about 4 or 5 times you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were quite worn out, but I want to go back there because I guarantee you, I know I will pick something up, because my dad was sensitive and my mother was sensitive. So I have it on both sides of the family. So I think this would be a good thing. And I think me being there to reach out to my 2 times great grandfather, which is funny because when you see the pictures, I have his nose and I have his hair. Because my hair is not naturally straight, it's very curly, just to let y'all know. And so it was very weird looking at my 2 times great grandfather. So that's what I would like to do, is that. You're so mean, I can't share.
No, you can't.
He's mean.
Yeah, I know. I'm bad. Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the back and forth chatter. We have these conversations all the time, and we want to share them with y'all because I think it's quite interesting to have somebody that is a skeptic, somebody like me who can openly hear them without warning. And it is funny that since I did the spirit box, I've heard a couple unusual bangs. Luckily, it's just me that picks this up and not you guys.
Okay.
I can handle it. I just tell them to go away.
Okay. Thank you.
So, thank you for listening. I want to thank the newcomers on my channel. If you like it, and hit that like button, subscribe, share it out, because if I get my numbers up, we can do one day eventually a live stream, and I think that would be really fun because I have so many people already that would love to be interviewed. I want to bring different people in different countries because for me, I see people do things a little different, not much, but a little different than here in America or mainland Europe to UK. So, there's a shaman I would love to get a hold of and have him on. I told you I have a friend that knows ITC very well. Would love to interview him because he is quite knowledgeable. And whoever else tickles my fancy. Have him up. We'd have to have Crow up.
I can
Crow and Judas, we gotta have you on one day. You love me?
Why can't you say goodbye?
All right. Thank you, guys. Be safe. Enjoy. Have fun. Life is what you make of it.